Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HPCritical, a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm Jarrell, and I'm joined by Kelly.
Everybody.
And Brandon.
Yo!
And Gabe.
What it do?
And a very special guest back once again, and he's going to keep coming back. He's going to be our most recurring guest.
That was a really long pause.
No, he got there. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. He got there.
The wonderful and illustrious Rodrigo. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me.
I will have you every week if you'll come back.
He's just trying to get you part of the podcast crew.
he's like, I don't know about all that. Anyway, there's a lot of news to talk about. So
if you don't hate me by the end of this podcast, I'll come back.
I would never hate you. You do too much promotion for me to hate you.
Like, you did do promotion.
I'm hurting myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, because that's not true. Anyway, so let's jump right into the news this week because there's a lot. So Sony has reportedly stopped PlayStation Plus users from stacking their membership. Oh my god!
Dang.
I'm sorry.
That's how I feel too.
Who let the dogs out?
Hey, for everyone watching.
We might get our copy.
No, we're good. This for everyone watching, this is exclusive to the live version of the podcast. You ain't hearing this in the pre-recorded thing. So if you're here live, this is all for you guys. The dogs barking, us getting copyright stricken, Jarrell saying Welch's sucks. That happened before stream, but it's canon to us. All that good stuff. So
I mean, I guess Jarrell's. Yeah, I was about to say he's back. I was gonna say we should say what we're playing to fill in the gap, but he came back.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Somebody just came to my house, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so Sony has reportedly stopped PlayStation Plus users from stacking their memberships. Users report failed attempts to extend their current membership. Sony has seemingly disabled the ability to redeem PlayStation Plus codes from third-party retailers or via the PlayStation Store. Some users have tried to extend or stack their PlayStation Plus memberships after news broke that those with simultaneous PS Plus and PS Now subscriptions will get upgraded to PS Plus Premium in June, with the length of the new subscription being equal to their longest current memberships. How many of y'all have Xbox and have like stacked your live or gold stuff from different prepaid like cards and website codes?
That's me.
Definitely not me.
Nobody?
Guessing we're on this podcast. Damn.
Maybe they sponsor us.
Right? Because
good people.
Won't. Anyway, it's now a widespread issue, and some people are not very happy about it. I don't see why they wouldn't allow you to stack it. It doesn't make any sense. I was gonna go on this whole rant about how Xbox allows you to stack it no matter where you bought it from and blah 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 bullshit, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is from IGN, written by Robert Anderson. Robert Anderson, you have made the HP Critical podcast. I hope that you are proud of yourself. And that's.
I mean, if it's paid for, I don't see how that's a problem. If it's being paid for.
Why you can't exactly? Why can't you use it if it's already paid for? That's the real issue here. I wonder what they're gonna do about that. I guess eventually they'll either have to. I guess you can accept it. You just can't stack it. So you would have to end. You'd have to wait until your membership ends and then claim this one. But then you'd still have to go back and claim the one for later on. When you go with the what is it called?
You got it.
Whatever. Anyway, because I can't think of it when you end the PlayStation Premium. Whatever. Whatever. Anyway, Dead by Daylight news came out today. That was pretty exciting for me personally. Is today the 27th?
Yeah. No, 28th. 28th of this recording.
Oh, okay. Dead by Daylight news came out yesterday then. So for any Dead by Daylight players, Rodrigo, you've played, right?
No, never.
You're what? We played together. You're lying. We literally played together 4 years ago. There's Facebook evidence of a video of us playing together. You're a liar.
Is there a video? I don't know.
Yes, on Facebook. Yes, there's literally a Facebook video.
He's got the evidence.
And I know I know Kelly has also played. Kelly, I'm gonna ask you first. Actually, is there a character in Dead by Daylight that you thought was an LGBT member? And if so, who was that character?
I mean, it's been so long. I'm trying to think. There was a female character, but I can't remember her name now. Oh my god, what is her name? Anyways, I thought there was always kind of a consensus that Dwight was gay.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
But there was another character that I thought was also, but yeah, I think Dwight for sure.
The guy with the glasses.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the guy with the glasses that everyone is memed as the gay character. Funnily enough,
I thought it would be Meg.
Oh yeah, everybody did think that Meg was a lesbian. Well, Dead by Daylight has announced that they have revealed that their first openly LGBT plus character is David. What's his name? What's his last name?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
David King. David
Okay.
King is the first official open LGBT character from Dead by Daylight. It is not Dwight. It is not Meg. It is David. David is a fan favorite survivor, described by developer behavior as a hot-tempered ruffian with a penchant for a good scrap. Many fans read the character as gay, apparently, and now this new story content will make that a reality as his past struggles with identity are revealed. So yeah, they decided to go with a character that was already established and reveal that the character was LGBT, as opposed to
The fighter guy. Okay.
yeah, as
Sorry.
opposed to making a brand new character that is LGBT for the game. And speaking to Eurogamer, the DBD creative director Dave Richard, explained that originally the team shied away from exploring relationships or sexuality for the game's characters to leave them open to interpretation, but admits this was a mistake because relationships are such an important part of narratives for characters. It was a long effort to get here today because we wanted, like any type of representation that we do in DBD, we wanted to make sure that we do it right, that it's not token, and that players will feel represented by this character, he says. For us, the best platform to do it faster and then in the right way was the archive, because the archive is the platform in the game where we can go in depth in the narrative versus a new chapter where we focus more on the horror and why they've been taken by the entity. And so because of that, it means that it needed to be retroactive. It needed to be a character that's already in DBD. It added to the challenge which character would fit the best, which character makes sense to do this narrative, and how. That's why an existing character was chosen rather than creating someone new, and Behavior is consulted with LGBT plus organization GamerX to choose the right character and ensure the representation is appropriate. And I will say, I've worked with GamerX before. They're great. Wonderful company. And so yeah, DBD did reach out to GamerX to just ensure that they were doing this the right way. So my question to all you wonderful people is, or dinosaurs, however you feel today.
Rawr.
It's an inside joke. My question to you, wonderful people, is how do you feel about Behavior taking a character that's already in the game and revealing years later that that character is LGBT versus making a new character and providing that character's backstory as LGBT from its inception? Because this is something that Overwatch does, and they kind of let you know up front, like when the character's released, all about that character. However, it's separate, and I bring up Overwatch despite everything that Blizzard has done. I bring up Overwatch because that game is also a game where all the information is separate from, like, the character lore is separate from the gameplay, you know, of the game. And so in this instance, they're saying, you know, the archives is separate from the new chapter where we get all the horror, and so that's why we did it this way. How do you guys feel about a company retroactively revealing that a character is LGBT after so many years, because this game has been out for like forever, and he's like one of the if not, like, I think he was like one of the first DLC characters to come out if he wasn't an original. Like, he's been in this game for a very long time. Anyway, yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, as you said, they consulted with people of the community to make sure that the character was consistent with actions, I guess, like
they consulted with GamerX. They did not consult with people in the community, which also
okay. That's different.
And just for anyone who doesn't play, before you answer more, for anyone who doesn't play, David King is like the guyest guy on the roster. He is like, I hate to label him as the most masculine dude there, but he's probably the most masculine presenting dude in this game.
Okay.
Just as an aside, like there's stereotypically people have made Dwight the LGBT character just because of how he is and how he presents, and that's understandable if you go off of stereotypes and just like how the community has accepted Dwight as the token LGBT character. So David King, nowhere, I guess some people might have, but he is literally probably the most non stereotypical gay character that they could have said was gay, is what I will say.
Okay.
And I'll let Kelly go into more on that when she talks about it, because I know that she knows. And also, Rodrigo, I'm sure, has played David King as well. So, like, you guys can, as players, attest to the fact that he's probably, like, the most masculine character you can play in that game to date, actually.
I mean, he's like the only one that you can play shirtless. So.
Oh yeah, that's gay.
I mean, that changes my entire mind. You're right. That's super gay. Come on,
man.
Who gets chased by monsters shirtless? Gay guys. Come on.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it, but thank you, Jarrell.
It's facts. It's only facts. I'm sorry. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, someone's trying to kill me. Let me just.
Right? Oh my god. Am I allowed to? I'm not allowed to do that.
No, you're not.
No nipples.
Nope.
No nipples.
Nipples are the
Or
ones.
slowly, like you gotta do it slowly.
Yeah. I was like, let's not do this.
I'm
Anyway.
gonna do it while Brandon's talking.
Oh,
Go ahead, Brandon.
Boy, we're getting canceled. Anyway. Oh man. Anyway, to finish my thought. I guess if people are like, you know, I guess as long as it doesn't like directly contradict anything that's like been shown before, like if it's consistent with the story, I don't really see a problem with it. I think it can only be a positive because there's I know this is like based on the character lore, not really like the story per se exactly, but I know there's a lot of like prequels are famous for this. They'll like recontextualize stuff that you saw in like previous stories, and you know, it's sometimes they knew from the start, or the creator of said story that sometimes they knew from the start, and it's just like now explaining it, and sometimes they just throw it in there because they thought it'd be a good explanation. But I feel like as long as it doesn't like you know, directly contradict anything that's come before, I don't think it's harming anyone.
But this is literally the scenario in which they threw it in later.
Sure.
It's what you described. Like this isn't like he was not LGBT from the beginning.
But that's what I was saying. Like I'm saying, as long as it doesn't like contradict anything that has come before, I don't think it's a big deal if it gets, like you said, thrown in there. It'd be like the opposite would be like oh man, he like his backstory said that he just like banged a whole bunch of chicks and was now he was gay all along. I was just like, that would be a different story, unless it was all a front. Oh my god, hold on, I gotta talk about this real quick. Has anyone seen the Harold and Kumar films?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because,
Yes.
Okay. So Kelly will know what I'm talking about. In the Harold and Kumar films,
Okay, I know where you're okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Neil Patrick Harris appears in those films, and obviously Neil Patrick has since come out that he's gay. But in the first two films, he's like all about women, just trying to like bang as many women as possible. He goes to a whorehouse. But in the third film, he comes out as gay, and then what he does is he goes on the phone and is like, they're totally buying the gay act. I can see all these girls naked with no consequences. That's literally what they did to like work in him coming out as gay for his real life persona in the films. I was like, that's like the only funny joke of that film. That third Harold and Kumar film is garbage, but that joke is at least funny. That's what I was thinking.
So
about.
are you suggesting that David King is not actually gay and he's just here to bang all the girls?
No. I am not suggesting that at all. I'm saying that if that's what they said that he's gay, then he's gay. I'm just saying there's no facts that's been given beforehand to contradict that. So in my mind, it's fine. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I think they should have just made a new character. It's just really weird to this many years later just come out and say that David King is apparently LGBT. Like,
Yeah, this feels like
it's weird to
pandering.
me. It's like they tried to avoid pandering and they ended up just kind of pandering. To me, I can understand that people are not going to feel the same way I do. You know, they're going to be like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's nice that they finally have an official LGBT character. But I just feel like make a new character, and in the archives, you know, talk about how that character's LGBT, but then introduce them in the horror sense, like you do with every character. This is very weird to take an old character and turn them. I hate the term "turn." I shouldn't have said that. Reveal later on that they're just LGBT like 10 years later. Like what?
That's some
What was
Harry Potter thing. What's her name?
JK,
Maybe he
Yeah, some
needed
J.K.
time to
Rowling
come out.
Stuff, yeah.
David
Like,
King. If he was gonna be out, his personality is the type that would be like, yeah, bitch, I'm gay and I'm still gonna fuck you up. Like that's David King.
You don't know that.
100%. I have played
don't know
enough of
that.
DBD to know that. Okay, like that guy is
Yeah,
not
he could have
afraid of
needed
anything.
time.
He's not afraid of anything.
Doesn't
It's
afraid
just
of
really
anything.
weird to me. It's like if it's and I hate to use this argument too, but I don't know if you guys know when people complain that like what's that Thor? Okay, perfect
Thor.
example. You know how like Thor, like the new Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out, and Natalie Portman's gonna be Thor now, and it's like people that are like, oh my god, why are you making a girl Thor? Just make a new character, or why are you making a Black Spider-Man? Just make a new character. That argument can be said for here. Why are you like making David LGBT? Just make a new character. Like, don't give us some character that we've already established is something in our minds because you've left it up to the viewer for so long, and then you're like, just kidding, he's been gay this whole time. But also, yay for LGBT representation in DVD. Finally, officially LGBT representation.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I actually take back everything I said. It's wonderful. It's all great. I lied. Everything I said previously was a lie. I love it. Yeah. So anyone else, Kelly or Rodrigo or Gabe?
No, I said my piece.
What did
Maybe
you
he-
say?
Maybe he needed time to
Maybe
come
he
out.
was closeted for a while.
Yeah, maybe he did. You never know.
That better be in his archive story.
If
that
it
better be.
is, I'll be very proud of myself.
If it is, they should hire you as a writer.
Oof. Yeah, actually, yeah. Kinda
If
tired
it's
of
that
my actual
predictable.
job.
Yeah, sorry, Kelly or Rodrigo.
So I feel like whenever they were in like a meeting to be like, all right, we have to have a gay character. Who's it gonna be? They were like, okay, well, it can't be too obvious. It
So
can't be like Dwight. It can't be Nia, literally with short hair and a beanie and a like a muscle tee.
They're all gay.
Too obvious. We have to make it someone to where it doesn't seem like we're being stereotypical, but we have to choose someone. Like, I feel like that's like what they did. They're like, you know what? David's shirtless. We could use him. Like, it's like perfect. Like, he's shirtless. He is manly enough to where people aren't going to be like, you just picked, the most feminine guy or whatever. Like, I mean, it makes sense why you'd want to pick him. But I don't know. If you didn't have the idea from the beginning, don't try to act like it's a thing now. It just, I guess it kind of depends, because if they haven't really shown their relationships in the past, I guess it doesn't really make a difference now. But if they've have they had a habit of showing people's past relationships? I've not watched any of these archives, to be honest with you.
Me either.
And I played a lot of
Sorry.
Dead by Daylight. I don't know.
I'm just going purely based off of my experience in the game. Like I've never played Archive.
Yeah, I haven't either. But at the same time, I do feel like if this was information that we needed to know, he came out in 2017 as a character, so it's been
5 years.
5 years that we could have known this.
No, yes, and it's also just so weird to me that in the article when they say that relationships are important, nobody gives a fuck. It's Dead by Daylight. We don't care who they're fucking. I literally don't give a shit if they're gay or not. I just want to get away with my life. That's all I want.
The only time sex matters in a horror is that if they have sex, that means they're dead. That's pretty much it.
That made no sense to me. Can you please explain that in a different way?
I haven't watched Scream.
In horror films, if they have sex, they die. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. I really thought you were talking about necrophilia, and I was very confused. I see what you mean. I was so
no kink shaming on the podcast.
Sorry, that is one kink that shall be shamed.
That's an illegal kink.
That's a crime.
Yeah, that's a crime.
No kink shaming on the podcast.
That's not a kink. That's a crime. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's just. I agree. Rodrigo, were you saying something else about it? I'm sorry.
I guess I could say two things, but I forgot one. So I'm gonna
Okay.
say the one I remember. I think. Oh no, I'm saying that it is definitely pandering, but at the same time, he could
It
say
is definitely.
that him being the way he is doesn't matter if he's gay or not, because his experience as a person is just him as a person, even if he's gay or not. Whatever he went through, whether his actions are gay or not, it's just who he is. So it doesn't matter if he's, changed to gay. He's still the same person.
It doesn't matter if they changed him to gay because he's still David King.
Yeah.
What if him coming out as gay just changed one of his stats?
The real problem is that we all assumed that he was straight. We are the problem. First of all, everybody in DBD is gay. If you've played that game, you know that I'm telling the truth. They're all gay. Like, they're all LGBT members. All of them. That's just it.
I can see
they
it.
just haven't told us yet. It's easy to see.
Getting a new one every 5 years.
Oh my god!
Every
the game is out in
there'd be a
another
new
5 years.
character.
Yeah, he was
If the
gay
game
all
is still
along.
So let's talk about Nintendo. I know you guys love Nintendo so much, right?
I mean, I do.
I mean, yes, but I don't
Well,
think
there's
Nintendo loves us back.
There are some American contractors who feel like second-class workers. They said, according to sources familiar with the incident, there's a complaint filed against Nintendo that came after a part-time employee spoke about unions in a business meeting and was later fired mid-contract. Others are now speaking up about feeling disrespected. Some workers are questioning why one of the most beloved gaming companies isn't doing more for its most precarious workers. They quote, "They want to control you like you're full-time, but not treat you like a full-time worker," unquote, said one temp employee. When people did get moved to full-time, it wasn't always with a jump in pay. Quote, "Full-time pay is of course better, but still not great by industry standards. It's almost as though they want to compensate us with the privilege of working for Nintendo," end quote. Current and former employees have also told Kotaku, which is where this is from, they felt an unease even when discussing their working conditions. Quote, "The general feeling is that you will be punished for being outspoken at every level," said, end quote, said one current full-time employee. Good thing is this isn't sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Yay! One for
Good job, Nintendo, for not sexually harassing your employees.
Workers. Yeah, that's
Not just for not paying them enough, but at least you're not sexually assaulting them. The bar is this low, so like
it's kind of just gone to the gutter these last few years for various reasons, for various companies.
Yeah, it's just that a lot of employees are just, talking about, or rather complaining about bad pay and the inability to voice their concerns without fear of being terminated.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on this one?
I've told everyone before who's listened to this podcast, unions aren't bad things. The reason people get fired for bringing up unions is because everyone knows they're good things for the employees.
Unless your union sucks.
Yeah, unless your union is is given to you by the employer. Yeah, 9 out of 10 times is gonna be doo-doo. But still, this guy got fired for merely suggesting a union. Open your eyes, America, or wherever our listeners are from.
Open your third eye.
They're from a lot of places, so thank you guys for listening all over the world.
Yes, thank
I'm
you very
sorry
much.
that our podcast is so Americanized. We suck.
Well,
but continue to listen.
If you're listening to our Americanized podcast and you're from another country and you still enjoy it, man, you're the real ones. That's all I'm saying.
Real freaking deal.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, no, I pretty much agree with what Gabe said. Like, unions are good for the employees, and it doesn't really matter what company it is, because companies exist to make money, and unions are bad for the money. So they'll be like, ooh, union, ooh. So even if it's Nintendo, I'm like, oh, a big company said no to unions. Yeah, okay, that's
well,
the only reason I disagree with that statement is because it is Nintendo. Nintendo is one of the most successful gaming companies in the world. With as much money as they make, they should 100% be paying their employees reasonable and fair prices.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no
They
just because
should.
you're a big company it's expected. Fuck that. Nintendo should know better.
Nintendo should.
They're supposed to be better.
I agree with every
That's
single
what-
thing you said. They should know better. They make enough money. That's all. Those are all true statements.
They could always just fire.
Capitalism.
Oh, never
I'm
mind.
sorry. What? Fire
Give
who?
them
Nothing.
ideas, Cheryl.
Fire who?
No, I was gonna say they could always just fire Chris Pratt and then give that money to
They don't. They don't own Chris
They're gonna
Pratt, or he's not
Yeah,
employed.
No,
by
I
Nintendo.
mean for the. I'm
To
talking
be
about for
fair,
the
I think
movie.
but I
I
think the casting is headed by Illumination, not Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo hasn't. I mean, they have
I
say
was
in
just-
it, but yeah.
I was just talking shit about Chris Pratt. Can y'all let me have this? Damn! Oh my god!
No, the same way your dogs didn't let you have your chicken nuggets.
No, don't bring
What?
it up on the podcast.
That is below the belt, sir. What is all this illegal stuff on this podcast
It
episode?
is. Rodrigo, were you gonna say something about this?
Yeah, but I forgot. I'm just saying, Nintendo sucks. Because of it.
I'm gonna just need you
We
to
expect
every
better
time
from
we have a
Nintendo because we love Nintendo. So,
We is a strong
just
word.
disappointed.
We is a strong word. Wii U is not.
Whatever, Mister. I'm
I'm-
always waiting for.
I am very
Breath of
upset.
the Wild.
Breath of the
That's
Wild.
why that's why I don't love Nintendo right now because
Yeah,
I've been
but when
waiting
it comes
too
out,
damn
you're gonna be,
long.
I love Nintendo. Nintendo.
When it comes out, I'm gonna be like, "Where's number 3? You guys made me
Oh my
wait
god.
6 years. Where's number 3?"
Anyway, Nintendo wrote in a statement, quote, "We are aware of the claim, which was filed with the National Labor Relations Board by a contractor who was previously terminated for the disclosure of confidential information and for no other reason. Nintendo is not aware of any attempts to unionize or related activity and intends to cooperate with the investigation conducted by the NLRB. Nintendo is fully committed to providing a welcoming and supportive work environment for all our employees and contractors. We take matters of employment very seriously." The only problem with that is, after this guy came out, more people came out and said it also happened to them. So I would have believed you if it was just this one guy, but unfortunately, it's not. So somebody can't be.
Is that why
like,
they
this
delayed
guy-
Mario? And then
This is why they delayed.
they changed the date on Xenoblade.
Xenoblade's coming out early to distract from the union.
Oh my god! And it's all factual. It's like what Overwatch did with when they were like called out for being racist and sexist and horrible, and they were like, "Here's two," like 5 years too early,
Oh man.
and it's still in like early ass beta. Oh my god!
yeah.
Anyway, so something
At
really
least
cool.
People were able to play it. Finally. Sorry.
No, fuck them for
Okay.
everything that they've done. They were literally like, everyone was like, "Wow, you guys are racist and sexist," and they were like, "Oh, hey, here's this black woman." Like, that's literally what they did.
That is
It's like a
exactly what
bunch
they
of
did.
white guys were like, "They're calling us
Yeah.
racist and sexist. Just release that black woman that we haven't released, and that will take care of
Hope she got a
racism
bonus.
and
How,
sexism."
how many characters?
Right?
Wishing it
Yeah,
it
how
was
many-
bullshit, but she was like, "Oh, I'm getting this nice bonus."
How many characters
Yeah, get the money,
Blizzard,
okay.
does Blizzard have in the vault just waiting for a controversy?
Waiting for a controversy, like, oh no, we're gonna pull out. Never mind. I'm about to sound really racist. PlayStation has set up a new game preservation team, which is gonna be really cool. Essentially, it's just to preserve games because, as we know, sometimes games are unavailable. You can't access them, and companies that I will not name make it really hard to play older games sometimes. So
Nintendo,
PlayStation has set
right.
up a new. Yeah. PlayStation has set up a new reservation team to ensure that some games are going to be able to be played in the future. And there's a quote from videogamechronicles.com that I'm going to read to you guys here. And where is it? Oh, okay, here it is. Last month. Oh, no. Nope, can't find the quote. Anyway, how do you guys feel about game preservation? And do you think this is a good idea? Do you think more companies should do this?
Yeah, it's a good idea. More companies should do it. And I will also say, it's ironic that this is coming from Sony, who famously is not about game preservation. Or let me take that back partially. They haven't been very consumer friendly when it comes to backwards compatibility. And I know that there was an executive at one time who laughed in the face of those who wanted backwards compatibility. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. I apologize. But so it's funny now that Sony is like, yeah, no, game preservation is the way to go. We got to make sure that the games of the past can be preserved for people to play and or analyze in the future going forward. And so it is a very important endeavor. I agree. And while the source of said, preservation efforts is surprising, it's good no matter what. And I do wish more companies would embrace that. I will say it's surprising that Microsoft is not doing this because they are so good with their backwards compatibility right now. All for X Series can play Xbox One, a lot of 360 games, and a few Xbox original games. That's more than a lot of the consoles are doing. If I had to make a prediction, I feel like this would probably prompt them to be the next ones to make the initiative, and Nintendo would take forever because, Nintendo.
I mean, I feel like this was just a part of their, they got to do it because they're going to allow you to play a bunch of their older games with their new PS Plus membership thingy.
Yeah, maybe.
So, it's like,
but
I also found the quote.
That's a good point. I mean, that could very well be why they're doing this. You're like, look at all these PS1, PS2, and PSP games and PS3 games you can now play. Yeah, preservation. We're all about that. We've always been about that. What are you talking about?
I also found the quote. Garrett Fredley was celebrating his new employment. He posted a message on his Twitter and LinkedIn pages expressing his excitement at joining the new preservation team. Quote, "Today is my first day as a senior build engineer for PlayStation, working as one of their initial hires for the newly created preservation team. Game preservation was my first career passion. It was my first foray into the world of software engineering, DevOps, and into a world that so many are unaware of. I was just a novice back then, contributing any way I could regardless of my inexperience. Now I'm back to it, no longer the novice I once was. Thank you, Global Head of QA Mike Bishop and the team for bringing me on board for this adventure. Let's go and ensure our industry's history isn't forgotten." End quote.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the quote.
Yeah. No, yeah. Just to belabor one more last thing I said, just like, I think game preservation is important because even if an old game is not good anymore, I think knowing what it inspired later is important. Like, for example, I cannot play the original Metroid anymore, but if it didn't exist, we wouldn't have Metroidvanias, which is a beloved genre. So, preservation, that's just an example of one reason why preservation, I think, is important. So people who, look back at these things, understand the origins and, why older games are important, at least for that reason. Even if they're not fun, they're important. That's basically.
You don't need game preservation. Just remake the game again. Like you do with every other game, Square Enix. Remake them all. Just remake them all. It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Square Enix literally loses their source code, so that you have to remake these games. Like, that's why Final Fantasy VIII Remastered exists. They lost the code to 8, so they had to remaster the whole damn game to get it out.
What is that one that they're doing now? Chrono Cross.
That's the one that came out. I'm sure that.
I'm like Live Alive. They don't care. Just put everything out. What was that other one that like nobody asked for that I actually wanted to play randomly? God, I can't remember. Saga Frontier. Nobody asked for that. They're just like, hey, have this one too. They're just like, whatever. Take them out of the vault. Throw them into people. Everybody just do that. Just remake all the old ones. Just all another chance.
Remake them. Put them out. Put them back out.
Woo! Anybody else care about game preservation, or are you really just?
I was gonna say what you said. They're only doing this because they have to have a set amount of games available to play when they do their new PlayStation Plus stuff. That's all it is. This team is not made to make a book or whatever digital library of old PlayStation games. This is just you're in charge of picking out which one of the games is going to be playable, and that's your only job.
That man was so excited in game.
Yeah, he was so
his
excited.
entire job to like your job is
like,
to pick out the games that we're gonna play.
I'm sorry when a company has a certain pattern of not doing certain stuff and they all of a sudden do it, it's for a money reason.
I agree. I do agree with Gabe. Like that's kind of what I was hinting at when I said I'm concerned about the source, but I think the ultimate cause is good. It's for money, but if they actually end up doing some good work out of it, then I'll take it. I mean, companies exist to make money anyway, so whatever. If they're getting paid to do something that people are actually asking for, then go for it, I guess.
Well, you know what else I think is a nice gesture?
What's that, Jarrell? What's a nice gesture?
Xbox and Bethesda are having a game showcase on June 12th, the same time we would have had what is no longer existent E3. Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
So, the real question is, what are you guys excited to see from Xbox and Bethesda this year?
I can't wait.
Connect.
I can't wait to see another trailer of Starfield. I can't wait to see another trailer of Season 2 Halo Infinite. I can't wait to see more games coming on Xbox Game Pass that have been out for the past 5-10 years. I'm so excited.
And this is why E3 was canceled. Everything that Gabe just said is why E3 was canceled.
I'm not gonna lie though. Go ahead. No, go.
What if they were like, what if they literally came on June 12th and were like, all these games that we've been talking about for forever, here are the release dates. They're all coming out this year. They're all coming out within a few months. All of them are free on Game Pass day one.
I don't give a shit. We've already known about them.
But that's really big news. That is. We haven't had release dates for almost anything that they showed off last year or the year before that. Like, we haven't heard anything from them
That's
at
good.
all.
That's just them finally getting their shit together.
Which is good for them. It's good to finally get your shit together.
It's
bro.
good for them. The rest of us shouldn't care. You can't. Again, it's like it's my same problem with Nintendo Directs all the time. We know these games are coming. We know exactly what you're gonna give us. Like, it's not fun anymore. Like, we've
What
had.
are you talking about?
All the games. What do you mean? What am I talking about?
Nintendo Directs literally are the ones that I've been talking about that are really good, because what they'll do is they'll show you a fucking game and be like, "Oh, it's out right now," or "It's out
how
in a month."
many
really
games,
good for that.
How many games are actual like big games that people are like, "Oh"?
I don't fucking know. I don't care about Nintendo.
They're usually 40-minute directs, and 5 minutes of those 40 minutes are games you haven't heard about.
Perfect example. We just got one for Pokemon, and we found out that the game is coming this fucking year, at the end of this year. That's amazing. They do that.
But that's okay. But that's
a big
but that's different.
game.
That's different from announcing something that we already know is coming. You said, what if they come on June 12th and say all these games we've been talking about finally have release dates? That's different. If they said, "Oh, here's a whole new line of Elder Scroll games that were coming out," a whole new line. I really don't remember.
What if they do?
Then I'll eat my words and I'll buy Game Pass. But that's not gonna happen.
Eat your words. They're gonna be awesome. Honestly, I'm
done. That's my last.
I'm just here for the underdog. Microsoft is clearly the underdog. They also usually do really well during E3 times. Like they're usually, if not the opener, they're close to the beginning, and they really set the tone for what we're gonna see. And we got some good years out of them. We got years of lots of acquisitions. We got, like, last year, I saw a bunch of games that I actually wanted to play, including Redfall. We had an entire conversation just about being excited about some of the games coming from Xbox for once. How many times have I been excited for games coming out exclusively on Xbox? Like, never previously to last year. Like, that was not a thing. So the fact that they were able to do that, I think is a nice deal. Now, could they end up the way that PlayStation did, which was like that year that they showed us the same shit from the previous year and they just gave us release dates and it was trash and everybody talked shit? Yeah, sure, they could. And this would probably be 2 years of that. So I'm assuming that they're smart enough to not do that because they did that already. Like, don't do it again. There has to be a reason. What I'm saying is there has to be a reason that they did this, and we have so little information from them that I don't think it's gonna be bad. But go ahead, Gabe. I see you.
To rebuttal that, I'm just gonna say they're having that presentation one because there's no E3, so they don't have that stage to do it anymore. And what, you're gonna go a whole summer without doing it? But my other thing that I'll say that is, but no. Okay, you just called Microsoft smart.
No, but if you don't have anything to show, don't show anything. That's why PlayStation literally did that. They had that the next year. They had nothing to show, and they didn't show anything. Like they did it. They were like, "Nah, we're not gonna fuck up again because we already fucked up." So you shouldn't show anything if you don't have anything, especially if E3's canceled. What's the point? What's the point of putting yourself out there? Blame it on E3, but you can't do that.
Because you know Nintendo and Sony are gonna do something during the summer. That's
and if you don't have shit, that's your fault.
No, Sony 100% is going to have their state of play in July like they normally do.
In July, sure, yeah. I'm just saying
I'm not saying in June. I said summer. Okay, I said summer.
No, you're right. You're right.
Let me add my good thing. with the amount of Xbox Series X's and S's that they can actually push out there and have available to people, maybe there is a chance that they're going to be showing off games using, the newer console. And like, hey, you can get this on Xbox Series X and S, which is significantly easier to get than a PS5. So maybe that's the good side of it. Maybe that's why they're doing it, at the same time slot they would have during E3.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a backhanded compliment. You think
That's not backhanded. How was that backhanded? How was that backhanded?
I know what you're trying to say, bitch.
I'm not trying to say anything. I was being genuine. I was being genuine. All right, you know what? Nah, fuck Xbox. It's fucking no one's buying their consoles, and that's why they're so readily available. Forget it, because Jarrell
There it is.
I was trying to be nice.
You said it.
Trying to be nice. But
then why'd you just say that?
Because I was being genuine. Like, the fact that you can actually get a Series X and S, easier in store is a good thing. And it's like, look, if you've ever thought about getting an Xbox and you still can't get a PlayStation 5, what is it? It's 2 years after, right? Or
Yeah, we're 2 years in now.
2 years. Like, you might as well get the next best thing. Sorry, that's again that was backhanded. Sorry, you might as well get another new generation console and go ahead and play it. Yeah, I messed it up with that little backhanded thing.
If you can't get a PS5, you might as well get the next best thing.
Get the Xbox.
Switch. Nah, it's a Switch. I'm just kidding. I actually love my Xbox.
Okay, I was like, I don't know about that, because most people get Xboxes and PlayStations for graphics.
And when I played Game Pass, it was great until it wasn't.
Yeah, like that 1 hour.
And I will defend Xbox, okay? I will defend them. They have so much in the pipeline that is going to be exciting and interesting. And, I talked about it. I wrote about it. It's going to be great when it finally gets to us, okay? So just give them some time. Okay, look at fucking Final Fantasy. They don't give a fuck. Look at Breath of the Wild. They don't give a fuck. So let Microsoft
with Final Fantasy, while yes, Square Enix may be taking its time with that one, they're not doing so hot with their other titles right now. So I don't think that's a fair.
Whatever.
Because what?
That's a different conversation. Kelly or Rodrigo or Brandon, I'm sorry. How do you guys feel about Xbox having a showcase in June to replace E3? Do you think they have anything to show? Do you think they're going to surprise us? Do you think it's unnecessary?
Honestly, whether or not they actually have, I'm gonna be just perfectly honest. I don't know if they'll have a lot. I think what Gabe is said about it's gonna be all stuff we know, I think is probably gonna be accurate. That being said, I think Microsoft is worried about taking the same risks that Sony is, because Sony, like you said, Jarrell, they realize we ain't got shit to show, so why even show up? And that's what kind of become their thing for E3. And they're just like, we're just not gonna go to E3. We'll show shit when we're ready. But Microsoft, I feel like they're on the back foot because like you said, they're the underdog. So I don't know if they feel like they can afford to take the risk of not showing up to E3, even if they don't have that much to show. Because if they don't show anything, if they just like say, I guess we're not just going to show up and do anything in the summer, then the detractors are going to be like, so they got nothing, is what you're telling me. Like, even if they show E3 that has nothing but stuff that we've seen before, the fact that they have stuff to show will at least get people like, oh, well, I feel like showing something, even if it's like not much, is better than nothing. And certainly for the Xbox fans, because boy, they'll be pissed if they get nothing at all in the summer. But they may surprise us. There may be some stuff. Either way, I think it was inevitable that they would do a presentation with or without E3. It just feels expected. Whether it's a good thing that they're showing up or not, I don't know, but it's expected. So I'm happy that we got a date at least. I will watch it, and hopefully there'll be some cool stuff. I won't lie. Even if we have heard over and over about Starfield, I would love it if they actually had a release date, because I'm actually at least kind of interested in that. So, see what they got. Yeah.
I just want to say that we got so many games shown off at the
Last year?
Xbox last year, yeah. And a lot of them did come out. So why can't they do the same thing? How do we know that they're not going to do a presentation where they show us a lot of games that also come out? You know, I'm looking at this list now, and Starfield is one of them. It was set to release at that time, November 11th. I don't remember if it's been pushed back or not. Has it been pushed back? Yeah, according to this article at Polygon, Starfield is coming exclusively to Xbox Series X, Windows PC and Windows PC on November 11th, 2022. So if this is still correct, that's coming out this year. So that's a game shown off last year at E3 for Xbox. It's coming out this year. Stalker 2 is it did come out, if I'm not mistaken. That was shown at last year's E3. Stalker 2 came out. Back 4 Blood came out. I don't know about Contraband. I don't remember it. I believe the Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life did come out as well. Battlefield 2042 was shown. It came out. 12 Minutes came out. It was trash. Psychonauts 2 came out. People loved it. There were updates for Fallout 76. Hades came to Game Pass. Halo Infinite was announced or was talked about. It came out. Diablo 2 Resurrected was there was supposed to be a beta in August. I'm not sure about that one. And some other like unnotable titles, but. The Outer Worlds 2 was another one that I'm pretty sure did come out. Microsoft Flight Simulator. 2? Yeah, did it not come out? Outer Worlds 2?
I don't think
or
it
the
did.
announcement came. You're right, it did not. The announcement came, so that's another one that is not out. But Forza Horizon 5, Microsoft Flight Simulator, all of these games came out and they were announced last year. So there's no reason that Xbox can't come back and announce more new games that are going to come out the next year.
At least
some of those games were not announced last year. A lot of those games were repeated announcements.
Okay.
I'll just there's one thing I miss about live Microsoft conferences. I think I've mentioned on past podcasts is I love seeing the Forza gameplay, or not the Forza gameplay, but them revealing the Forza game and then actually having an actual car on the stage. Like I always reference that meme where that guy just like, I fucking love cars. And we're not gonna, and we're probably not gonna get that because it's a showcase and not a live presentation. So there probably won't be a live car, and there'll just be Forza gameplay without a real car on screen, so I can laugh at it. Shit.
I just feel like you guys are not giving Microsoft enough credit because they've announced some games, they've shown them off, and they've given them out. Like they've done what they're supposed to do.
I don't. Let me clarify. Like I was agreeing with Gabe insofar as
let me clarify too. I meant Gabe is not giving them enough, but go ahead.
Because they're announcing the same thing. Or literally,
you don't know everything.
Yes, I do because I keep up with games. Almost everything you announced that was announced last year's E3 was announced like 2 years before.
And guess what? It's out, so they can't re-announce it, bro. It's already out.
I'm not saying they're gonna re-announce those. What?
Yeah, exactly. Which means that the next games have to be something new because they can't talk about those because they're all already out.
Starfield is going to be given a longer gameplay. Starfield. They're going to do Halo Infinite Season 2 again, which has been, 2 years since the game has come out. Whatever other bullshit they're going to do because I don't keep up with them that much anymore. Exactly. Okay, watch. We're going to... Well, okay, my other part of defense of that is Microsoft hasn't had a showcase since last E3? When was the last time they had
Which means they have so many new games to announce
because they
haven't
got
had a
shit to do because they know they ain't got shit to do. And like I said, they're just gonna be like, look, if you can't get a PS5, get the next best thing.
Or they were holding them off with this June presentation.
Or they might announce an upgraded Xbox Series X and S. Who knows?
They might do that too. I'm sorry, Rodrigo or Kelly, how do y'all feel about Xbox? They're having a presentation June during E3 time.
Yes.
Yes, they are. How does that make you feel?
I mean, you guys said it all. I have nothing to add. Gabe's right.
Oh, okay, great. Gabe's right. Wonderful. Gabe's always right. I don't even know why I talk. He's always right. It must be great. I don't know what it feels like to always be right.
I mean, Microsoft does deserve some credit. They've been doing some good things, but I mean,
such as
the Game Pass thing and the game preservation thing and
those are good things though.
Those are great things.
Those are Xbox's two main weapons right now because they don't really have exclusives. The game preservation.
You didn't say that.
You're just
fueling me more. Say that they don't have exclusives anymore. That's just a blatant lie.
What exclusives do they have? Besides
just
Halo and
mentioned
Starfield.
Forza.
Besides,
I just
okay,
mentioned
besides-
Forza.
about Bethesda.
And you can't say besides
Sorry.
those, and they also have Bethesda, and most of the future games are probably gonna be exclusives as well. They bought a bunch of
Yeah,
studios.
those games-
Redfall is a
Guys-
game that I'm looking forward to. That's also gonna be exclusively for Xbox. Like you can't say that they don't have exclusives, and you can't say they don't have exclusives down the line because they have shown us plans for exclusive games on
I could
Xbox.
definitely say they don't have exclusives currently. Sure, maybe down
I just
the line.
named 3.
That's fine. 3 to what? Nintendo and Sony's like 15 each.
That first of all, half of Nintendo ones don't count because they're all the same thing. Yeah, I said it.
Huh?
Okay, all of Halo's the same thing then.
What?
Halo's 3 through now are exactly the same, just upgraded graphics.
Wrong.
Have you played all
No,
the
they got
Halos?
worse, I think.
Halo
Well,
Infinite
there we
is
go.
not the same.
Halo what?
Halo Infinite is not the same.
Halo Infinite
It's
is
got a
literally just a
grappling hook.
remodeled Halo game.
Okay.
It is not a
It has a
Woo
grappling
thing.
hook, but
Yeah, it's just a different game now.
Titanfall.
Totally
grappling
different.
hook. Oh, how could I
Go
forgot?
eat a grappling
So I'm guessing
hook, okay?
I'm guessing all the Call of Duty games are all completely different from each other. Then my bad.
I mean,
My bad.
technically some of them are different.
No, you will
Yeah,
not.
no.
No, you will not side with Call of Duty for this. You will not side for Call of Duty with this. Absolutely not.
Remember,
No.
you remember when they did Advanced Warfare that was actually really different and people hated it and they just went back to boosting it?
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I mean, Call of Duty fans like what they like, I guess. You know what?
That's why they keep buying the same game over and over again. Yes, they like what they like.
They like what they like. Yeah, that's right.
All I'm saying is they have games in the pipeline. They have game. I mean, wasn't 12 minutes an exclusive for Xbox as well?
What the fuck
like-
is 12 minutes?
It's that indie game where it had like Willem Dafoe and other people.
Psychonauts 2 is also exclusive to Xbox, and that game reviewed really well. It did really well. People loved it. It got like 9s and 10s, sir.
It did.
Just because you didn't play it.
Some people get
Horizon Forbidden
nominated as a
West.
game of the year. That was
Exactly, and that was an Xbox.
Yeah, but they
exclusive.
also nominated Animal Crossing for Game of the Year. Let's not go there.
That's a
That
different
was- this
context.
was not that year.
Cyberpunk.
It wasn't
It's
even the
different-
same year.
different
okay,
year,
but I'm
different
saying I'm talking about in
context.
terms of like rubric. Oh, I haven't said that word in a while.
Anyway, Kelly, how do you feel about Xbox having a presentation in June?
I mean, good for them.
A pleasant little golf clap for them having a presentation.
Okay, but like, are you excited or are you,
answer is
you
yes,
just like?
and good for
No,
them.
you're just like, are you excited or you just not care about Xbox?
I mean, I'm excited, I guess. I haven't really had time to play much. I feel like last year or the year before, if you would have told me this, I would have been like pissing my pants with happiness, but I don't. At this point, I'm like tired.
Do you know who else is tired?
Who's tired, Jarrell?
Ooh, I don't want to say his name wrong.
That's why he's tired. People
Type-
keep getting
Type it somewhere. Maybe I'll make a
Tired
stab
as
at it.
shit.
Apologize if I say your name wrong, but Yuji Naka is tired.
Oh yeah, no, that's his name. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, great. He revealed that 6 months before Balan Wonderworld came out. I'm sorry, that game is really bad, and I know that I defended it on this podcast.
You
Oh
defended
my
it.
God!
I
Wait,
did
Wait,
defend it.
wait, Jarrell. Are you saying that you
Yeah.
walked back what your big defense a few months ago?
I am admitting that I may have defended that game a little more than it should have been defended. Is
Oh,
what I will say.
this conversation's gonna get more interesting. Continue the story though. This is a lot more
But
interesting.
I still stand by the fact that it wasn't a horrible game and it did have the wrong audience. I still stand by that fact. I will
Yes,
say that
5-year-olds.
You're right.
yes,
You're
yes, 5-year-olds were the audience, and I still believe that it was treated unfairly. I still believe that people just ganged up on that game and it was treated unfairly, and
Yep,
we weren't
you're
the
right.
audience. Like I mentioned, it was for like 5 to 7-year-olds, and people just shat on it, and it was like a collective. What do you call that? Mob mentality collective of bullshit against
Sure,
that game.
yeah,
I
yep.
still believe that. Anyway,
Sure.
Yuji Naka revealed that 6 months before Balan Wonderworld came out, he was removed as director and therefore filed a lawsuit against Square Enix, which is now over. And he knew the game was unfinished, and he criticized both Square Enix and Arzest for going forward with the release. And he has like a thread of tweets here that I'm going to read. The first one says, approximately half a year before the launch of Balan Wonderworld, a business order was issued to be removed from the director of Balan Wonderworld. Also, this is translated from Japanese. So I filed a lawsuit against Square Enix in court. I would like to talk about the fact that the trial is over and the business order is no longer in effect at this time. I don't think Square Enix, which doesn't care about games and games fans, is bad. According to the court documents, I was removed from the director of Balan Wonderworld at 2 points, performed by producer, promotion, sound director, and human resources. So there's more. One is that a YouTuber will play the game music on the promotion and release the score. So I thought that it would be strange for the ghostwriter to write the score, arrange to put out the original game. So the original song I got into trouble for because I insisted that I wanted to put out the score of the game. And the other thing, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. And the other thing is, according to the court documents, what I said about RSS submitting without fixing issues, even though there was a problem during development, and to improve the game, is written that the relationship with RSS has collapsed due to the comment by Oshima, and it is said that Oshima talked to the producer Fujimoto. So essentially, what he goes on to say is just that he brought some concerns. It was about, the score, it was about the game not being finished, it was about the way the game was being produced, and eventually he found out that he was removed from the title 6 months before its release. And he just goes on to talk about all the issues that went along with that game. And I think, Brandon and Gabe, I know that you guys would have more information on this if you want to fill in.
Yeah, sure. So
he does go. I will say also that he does go on to apologize and say, personally, he's sorry that there was this unfinished work that was released to the world, and he does apologize for what ended up happening and what ended up being released. But yeah, go ahead.
So hearing all this, I think this report even just came out today. Actually, it cleared up some things, I would say, because one thing I will I wrote an article about this on our website. It's called, I think I titled it Balan Wonderworld looks like a dream come true. Now, while that game ultimately ended up disappointing me, I'm still very proud of that article, mainly because I will stand by this. When I first saw that initial trailer, I felt this game had a lot of potential because it looked beautiful for starters. The music in that trailer was incredible, and the gameplay. Anyone that knows Yuji Naka knows he has quite a resume. He's most famous for doing a lot of the Sonic games, but he also is well known for doing Nights into Dreams, which Balan Wonderworld seemed to be heavily based upon. And it's a story heard very common today. Said company is not making this game anymore, so I will make my own take on it. And he's the original creator of said game, so he would know best about it. So I thought that game had a lot of potential because it looked like a really fun platformer. But obviously, when the game came out itself, it didn't really deliver. I will 100% agree with what you said earlier, Jarrell. I do think the hate of that game was overblown. It was a very middling game, but but I think because people had such high expectations because of the pedigree of who was making it, that got overblown into it being like an absolute trash fire. Like it was a solid 5 or 6 out of 10 that got blown up like it was a 2 out of or a 3 out of 10 or something like that. I think that's what it kind of was. And playing the demo, that's pretty much where I stood on it. Like I was hyped about the game. The demo didn't do anything for me, so I ultimately ended up not buying it. But then I saw the hate online, and it's like, okay, the game was bad, but it wasn't all that, like all this now. And hearing now that basically the game was unfinished, like, because that's what I thought about it. Like the game, I still thought the potential was good, but the polish wasn't there. It really felt like
He goes on to mention, just to go along with that, he does go on to mention that like when he was working on Sonic, he worked until the last minute. Like he worked with developers until the last minute to ensure that game was done properly. And then when he was working on Balan Wonderworld, he said, "Let's do that," and they told him that he couldn't. Like they couldn't continue to work, and he was like, "How is it possible that you can't continue to work on this game until it's released? Like how is it that you can just stop now when it's clearly not done?" And that was another issue that he had, to go along with your point.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because that really was his mentality or how his work ethic with the games he made. He would work to the very end to make sure how much polish as it possibly could. It obviously didn't always work out, especially when you look at some of the Sonic games. But either way, that is how he would like to develop his games. Work to the very end. And with them, basically, they said they removed them from director. I think twice is what they even said. So he had a lot less hands-on time with this game that he was, The big deal was that he was director, so the fact that there was points in time to this development that he just wasn't director is freaking mind-blowing, because that was like one of your main selling points, at least for the people that knew who he was, that he was involved with that. So that's a big deal. And the fact that he wasn't given time to polish it, like, I feel bad. I do feel bad because, especially in the aftermath of when Balan Wonderworld came out, Yuji Naka has a long history of doing a lot of great games that people love, and that one misstep made people think he was some kind of hack or a has been, and that's awful. But now knowing that this happened, it really does clear up things. Why the game felt unpolished? Why it fell off when he did? Like, it just answered a lot of questions. And I feel like like his statement about like Square Enix and Arzus doesn't care about their fans. I think it's more along the lines of the fact that Square Enix, despite their supposed marketing for this game, probably didn't really have as much faith in this game as they were led to believe. Because why else would they just kind of like set it to die as they pretty much did, right? I don't know at what point they came to that conclusion. Maybe Balan Wonderworld wasn't the game that Square Enix wanted Yuji Naka to make. Maybe they wanted to make something else. But it's freaking Yuji Naka coming at your doorstep. He said he wanted to make this game, so they're like, whatever, we'll let you make it. It seemed good enough, so like, you're done here. And I'm like, no, but I'm not. Yeah, you're good. You're good. It just
I feel like that's exactly what happened.
That's probably exactly what happened. I just feel like Balan Wonderworld clearly was not something that Square Enix themselves really prioritized as it compared to their other games, and it turned out the way it did as a result. They put out in a state that they thought was good enough, and clearly that is not a sentiment that anyone, and pretty much anyone playing the game agreed with, except little kids.
So speaking of things that are put out that people think are good enough, unless anyone else has anything to say on that one.
I absolutely do have more to say on that. Because that last little closing statement about Balan Wonderland being the game for something that Square Enix doesn't really care about.
Wonderworld?
It is Wonderworld, yes.
I got it right once. Sorry, go ahead.
No, whatever. I don't care about the game. I feel like that's wrong because, like, we have clear proof that Square Enix is just shitting games out like it's Christmas.
They don't give a fuck.
Babylon's fault. Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna, finally, handshake with Jarrell on a point. Because I was zeroing in on how many times he said Square Enix doesn't care about the games or the gamers. Like, you can't say that more than once and not mean specifically that. And again, it's like Jarrell is, and it's like Jarrell has been saying, like, Square Enix seems like they're just pushing out games at this point. And yeah, they have their heavy hitters, like, I don't know why I almost said Dragon Quest first. We're not getting Dragon Quest for another 3 years. Final Fantasy, we have Remake Part 2 coming out. Final Fantasy 14 and 16, right? Or is it 17? 16? Yeah, like they have the heavy hitters, but then like the rest of the games, like Babylon's Fall, for example, that game was it was like, yeah, you guys are going to love this game. And that game came out and it was like, yo, this game sucks. And like, I guess the difference between those two would be, like you guys have been saying, Wonderworld was targeted for little kids, and Babylon's Fall isn't. But, like, I don't know, like, the fact that someone that worked with Square Enix said more than once they don't care about their games and they don't care about the gamers, like, is Square Enix finally reaching that point where it's, like, nothing but money for them? And it's like, oh, should we start being worried? But, like, I mean, Jarrell obviously agrees so, but, like, but then that puts into perspective, like, in a couple of years, what's Final Fantasy gonna look like? What's Kingdom Hearts gonna look like? If that mentality keeps going. Yeah, that's another thing. The NFTs, like that's.
We heard him. We heard the president of Square Enix talk about how NFTs are the future, and it's something that he's looking into. So it's not like this is surprising. Yeah, of course.
And like to point perspective of Square Enix not care about the gamers. That when he said that was very poorly received by any Square Enix fan. But he's like, I don't care what you have to say about NFTs. So I don't know. I think what this guy's thread. I'm saying this guy because I'm gonna butcher his name, and I'd rather not. I feel like this is a thread that we should keep in our back pockets, for the next couple of years, in case Square Enix all of a sudden starts to derail themselves. It's like, well, who could have seen that coming? And it's like, hello, someone told us.
I'm also.
It's very much
Go ahead, Drew.
I was just gonna say it's very much a case of developer versus publisher, right? Like, we have these Final Fantasy games that are being developed in house, but like. When you have something like Balan Wonderworld and you're working on it with one company, and then Square Enix comes and they're like, hey, we're going to publish this game, like, it needs to be done by this point. If it's not, it's going on as is because this is our money. This is what we're paying to get done. We're going to put it out. And when you see it from that perspective, of course, it's going to feel like, okay, they don't care about the gamers. They're not giving us time to do this game like it's supposed to be done. They're not marketing it right. A lot of people who enjoy Final Fantasy games, they already talk shit about Square Enix marketing because they will literally reveal the entire game in a trailer before it's out, especially for Kingdom Hearts. Like, they don't give a shit about. That's why people will say, and I don't think he's necessarily wrong. It's not just Square Enix. I think there are a lot of publishers that don't necessarily care as much as the developers that are working on these games. So it's unfortunate because it gives the developers a bad rap sometimes too, because then you get a game like Balan Wonderworld that's put out that's clearly not finished. You get a game like Babylon's Fall that's put out with. When you tell me that Platinum Games and Square Enix are making a fucking game together, I'm like, holy shit, that's just gonna be great. And then I'm like, what happened? Where in the process did y'all go so wrong? And then decide that it just had to go out anyway. And so like it just reminds me of the developer versus publisher issue. And so like for him, Square Enix is a really bad publisher, but that doesn't mean that the people who are developing some of the other better games are essentially to blame for that. So I think that's also something to keep in mind when having conversations like this.
For sure, I agree. I was also gonna say that a point that Gabe brought up, like it's feeling like Square Enix, I'm noticing, is having a problem when it comes to the publishing side with games that are like new IPs. It's hit or miss, but it's been becoming an issue we've noticed, like especially with Babylon's Fall. That's a big one. But sometimes a game is good and Square Enix just doesn't want to market it. I'm holding right here actually Neil the World Ends With You, which reviewed it really well. Christy even put it as her game of the year, but that was the game got criticism for not being marketed at all. Like,
I disagree with that, but go ahead.
Nah, I mean,
the game was marketed. Okay, I think fans would have liked for it to be marketed more, but that game I had seen multiple sessions of marketing for the game. Was it marketed as well as it should have been? I'll agree, maybe not, but I think people make it seem like that game was not marketed at all. Was that game not shown at their E3 presentation? I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't think it was.
They made an anime.
The anime.
Not only that, they also were making an anime to go with it. I'm pretty sure it was shown off during the Square Enix presentation.
They made an anime based on the first game, which I guess was like to catch people up because they released that first game like 3 different times, and then neither time it really sold extremely well. It's crazy
such
that
a niche thing, though. Like it's not like whatever.
Anyway, yeah, that's like Dragon Quest, Kingdom Hearts, and Final Fantasy just seems to be Square Enix's main perspectives, and those games will, I think, continue to do well. Anything else, I mean, it's tough. Some games either just get sent out to die, even if they're good, and some games that were not that great are the ones that are getting all the marketing. So, Square Enix is gonna.
All right. Well, we're running out of time, and I have a few more stories. So no 20 questions tonight. Ripperino.
Next time.
So Apple says that apps that haven't been updated in 2 years will be removed from from sale from the App Store, and people feel 2 ways about this. And I want to know how you guys feel about it. Essentially, some developers are saying that this isn't fair because they made a complete game that doesn't need to be updated. So it's kind of like a slap in the face for indie developers who are like, if we don't have a games as a service, live service type game that doesn't need to be updated, why is our game being removed from the App Store? And other people are just like, yo, update your game because, phones get updated, things change, just update your game. If it's been 2 years, then maybe you probably should go back and look at how your game's doing. So how you guys feel about that? Specifically, how do you feel about Apple forcibly removing a game that hasn't been updated in 2 years? Do you think it's okay for them to do, or do you think that's just crossing a line and they should leave it as is?
Yeah, that's trash. That's practice.
They should definitely contact. I mean, I know, again, the thought of having to do extra work is something these big companies don't like doing, but they should probably contact the developer like, hey, does this game need updating, blah, blah, blah. Is it okay if we take it out?
Apple will notify the developers. As a matter of fact, they have notified the developers that the apps and games that have gone 2 full years without an update will be removed.
Oh, then that's...
But
I'm not going to say that's fine because, again, there's some games that don't need an update and people are going to be like, if they have nothing to update, why should they update it and why should they suffer for it? But like at the same time, it's like I'm pretty sure there's somewhere Apple is, if they're asking like, hey, does this, letting you know your game has been updated in 2 years, is going to be removed, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure there has to be an option. No, I'm actually thinking too much of Apple right now. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure there's an option where it's like, oh, this game doesn't need updating, but please leave it on. I'm pretty sure that's not actually.
So I can read to you what reportedly what an email to a developer said, which says this app has not been updated in a significant amount of time and is scheduled to be removed from sale in 30 days. No action is required for the app to remain available to users who have already downloaded the app. You can keep this app available for new users to discover and download from the App Store by submitting an update for review within 30 days. If no update is submitted within 30 days, the app will be removed from sale.
Yeah, so it's like, you need to update the app if you want it to stay, even if it doesn't need an update.
Put in a flower on the main menu.
So if you bought the game, are you allowed to re-download it?
No,
or
I
will it
think it's
just
going to be
disappear?
removed from the store, but if you bought
Oh,
it,
well,
you
then
get to
that's
keep
bullshit.
it.
If I pay for it, I mean,
Well, if you paid for it, you get to keep it. It's just that new
well,
people
like
won't
if
be
what
able
if I
to
don't have
find
it
and
on my
download it.
phone?
I
So just
think
new people won't be able to get it.
correct. Like if you have it,
Okay.
it should be like in your history for you to
Yeah.
download if you've
Oh,
already
then
paid.
it's fine. I don't care. I'll buy a 2-year-old game. Fuck that.
Well, you won't be able to buy a 2-year-old game. That's the point.
Exactly. So it worked out. So much for game preservation.
I mean, that's another thing. I think like if a
Apple's
game,
not the one that did that, said that.
Well,
No, I mean he's not wrong. That's
I've
someone
heard-
you're removing it. So
No,
fuck game preservation.
Yeah,
He's not wrong.
I mean,
That's
Apple
true.
doesn't care about that because they're not a game company and they're not those kinds of nerds.
But the
Their
thing,
money
but
there.
the thing is, and
Technically, Apple is a gaming company.
Apple Arcade is not a
Yeah,
game
that's-
system.
well, it's not
Oh,
a game
100%.
system.
It
It's
is a
definitely not game
business
system.
model for gaming that has exclusive games on it
Exactly.
that have been reviewed and are constantly reviewed specifically for those exclusive games, including the one from the Final Fantasy creators. Like there are some serious heavy hitters on Apple Arcade that are exclusive to Apple Arcade, so you cannot discount it like that, especially because they are the biggest. And that's why there was that whole like lawsuit because they are the monopoly on mobile gaming, bro. Like, come on, don't do that. Go ahead.
That
Sorry.
also was about them, some other company that wanted to share money with Apple. That's not
Fortnite
really
didn't want to share
about-
money with Apple, but
Yeah.
but that was the point of it. The point of it was that Fortnite was saying it's not fair that Apple is the monopoly of mobile gaming. Like, no, fuck you guys, you have to share. And Apple was like, no, we ain't sharing shit. And maybe they should have because now you can't download 2-year-old games anymore.
Man, it's rough out in these streets.
Somebody was saying something. So say it before I move on. I don't know who it was. I'm pretty sure I cut someone off and I apologize.
It wasn't me.
No, nobody.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't.
You're
wanna
really good at
defend
cutting people
Apple.
off, so that's
I'm really good at it. I don't want to defend Apple. Look, I just did it again. I don't want to defend Apple, but like the thing that I will say in their defense, which I shouldn't do, is that these phones are updated all the time, and if your app doesn't work anymore, I think I can see this as a failsafe for iPhone and iPad users, because if there is a game that I really love, I've been playing for the last 2 years, and I update my phone and I can't play it anymore, and the developer is not interested in updating it, it should not be allowed to be downloaded by other people if it's not compatible with the latest software. I think that's fair, and I think it's fair to send them an email to that developer and be like, "Hey, you need to update this."
Mm-hmm.
And I can see it from the other side too. Sorry.
I think they should just change the font or something and then just send them back.
Change the font.
Here's the
Yeah.
Here's my
I mean,
update.
that's annoying because if it does work, this is super annoying. Like, that's like super stupid. Like, if my game still works, don't like force me to do anything on it.
Mhm.
But I do think that it's still a failsafe for consumers because the shit is updating constantly, like all the time. There's always updates, and anything can ruin anything on those updates at any time. So, yeah, Elon Musk is buying Twitter for $44 billion. That is a lot of money.
Man, people just got that money, I guess, just to do whatever the bullshit they want to do.
Like, sir, whatever. I won't go into that. This like. I wish I invented Twitter. I would sell that shit to him so quick. I'm sorry, y'all.
Twitter's weak.
What's funny about that is that people from Twitter are crying about it.
They're so upset about it, yeah. Do you guys think that anything is gonna change?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Might get more ads. or different kinds of
Even
ads.
though he claims he's going to be taking away ads, but absolutely something's going to change.
Oh well, what do you feel like is going to change?
You do. One of the reasons he bought it, and he said, "What?"
Go ahead.
One of the reasons he bought it was he's like, "Oh, this should be a platform for free speech." Blah 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 blah. He's talking about the misinformation that's being blocked on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's talking about. You're just gonna get a bunch of angry, annoying ass people on Twitter again. People like Donald Trump.
It's kind of like subjective.
No,
Not that he's no.
Yeah, subjective in the case that like he's not annoying to some people, and some of that information isn't misinformation. But like, I don't listen to those people because those people have two brain cells running around their head.
Just think that
No.
it's not gonna change for me because I don't follow anyone like that. So I usually don't see any of that stuff anyway. So,
Nor I.
but I understand that. Yeah, like sure.
It's not
Yeah.
about seeing it.
Yeah,
It's
the
about
fact that it's
other
there.
people will see it and then they will live their lives based on that. And
Yeah.
they will be like not believing stuff because they have alternative facts that they're now seeing and thinking it's real. That's really a problem. It's not free speech if it's just lies that people are saying on the internet. It's I don't know. It's not just like because
Elon
you
Musk
won't
is
see
not even
it.
American, is he?
No, he's not.
No,
What's
his
problem?
his parents had an emerald mine in Zambia, so of course he gets to buy Twitter.
You know,
Yeah.
but like this is think of it this way: if there's another pandemic, say in 20 years, and I'm just gonna call it COVID 45 because I have no imagination. If there's another pandemic, it's COVID 45, and once again the CDC and other health experts around the world are telling you need to wear a mask. Someone can go on Twitter and say this is false information. They're lying to you. You don't need a mask, and nothing is gonna mark it as that being false information. So you're gonna have you're gonna have more idiots because I'm assuming in the future technology is going to become even bigger in people's lives. You're going to have more people walking out there putting other people in danger because they heard from John Doe on Twitter that, oh, you don't need to do this to stay safe. That's a total lie from the people who've studied this your entire life.
Okay.
If he should have bought anything, he should have bought Instagram and fixed the goddamn timeline because we need chronological order.
Well, that's Facebook, so I don't think he can afford that one.
I wouldn't put it past him.
But who's using Facebook?
I definitely feel like Elon Musk can buy every social media platform right now and
I mean,
still
but he would be
the
like,
richest man in the world.
against what's his name? The
Okay,
robot.
All you need to do is give Mark Zuckerberg, sorry. All you have to do is give Mark Zuckerberg a tank with a UV light and some flies to catch, because that man is a lizard, and he'll be fine.
All right. Well, see, that's the type of information that's going to be spread on Twitter now that Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard. But okay. The only other thing I'll say
Yeah, I
about
did
this
hear
is, yes,
that from
I
Twitter
agree
anyway, so.
I agree with what Kelly said. Like, it's bigger than not affecting me. However, guys, if you think that Twitter is the only place that type of information is being circulated, I got some bad news for you.
I mean, but you might as well take away one of the channels. I mean,
that's the only place
know.
where it's actually like they're actively watching what information you put on. On Facebook, they'll try every now and then, but go on Facebook and see how many groups there are. Or, I mean, now it doesn't matter because, the government is paying the CDC to be like, hey, yo, tell them everything's okay, open everything again. But, like, if you go back a year or two and you go into Facebook and you look at those groups, they're not censoring it. Twitter was one of the few
Faith in
social
Twitter.
media. What?
Like, I think that you guys think Twitter is doing more than they're actually doing.
Yeah,
Like,
they're doing
there was some
more than the
fact
other
checking
social media
for a little bit, and then I didn't hear more about it.
so the bare minimum is like gonna be gone, which is
the bare
not
minimum is better
okay.
than no minimum.
Yes, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just like, okay. All right, so Disney refused to cut LGBT references and Doctor Strange 2 for Saudi Arabia, so there's that.
Lit.
Also,
What if it was for China?
I have no comment.
Actually, I think there was something on that. I
Was
don't
there?
remember.
What if it was for China? You tell me. What if it was for China?
I think they would change it.
You think they would because of all the money?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they Didn't they change? What was that movie? The Eternals, or what were we talking about? Did they not
Yeah,
change
yeah,
it?
it was the Eternals. It was the Eternals.
What did
Eternals,
they
I don't,
do?
I don't
I don't
think
remember.
they did anything because Eternals, like Fastos, one of the main characters, is like openly gay, and
Who
they
is
they would
Is that the black guy?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You just said the black guy. I don't know his name. I just know this is the black guy.
All right. Black guy, yeah.
Sorry.
He's gay.
Did China ban the movie Eternals or edited out the homosexual kiss scene? Eternals will not be released in China for several reasons, and that's one of them.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. They didn't release the movie in a bunch of places.
Yeah,
That's
that's what-
Oh,
that's
that's,
what it was.
right. We
Because-
talked about this because some of us were like, "Yeah, Disney's taking a stand," and someone was like, "No, they already know they're gonna make a shit ton of money, so that's no money lost for them." Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
happy for you. You seem so excited.
I just like it when my brain remembers things.
I just think that like in Eternals case, like there was literally too much to like. They'd have to cut out like maybe a good eighth of the movie to like make it suitable for those audiences.
Wasn't that fun?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to get rid of that entire scene of everything with
That
Fastos.
was a short-ass scene.
Fastos
They
would
could have
have
made
to
them
be.
roommates, just change some stuff around.
They had a.
They
They're
didn't
roommates.
even kiss. Did they? If
Did
they
they
kissed, I
kiss?
don't even remember. It was trash.
There's
Should
a
have kissed
fat kid.
more. Should have kissed harder.
Yeah,
They
tongue and
kissed pretty
everything.
hard though. They
Show
kissed pretty
that
hard.
black gay love on screen.
That was
Disney.
that was not a 3-second kiss scene. Is all I'm saying. Like that was not the Star Wars
it
cut. That was like a 10-second kiss scene. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
it wasn't.
Yeah, but like the scene in Doctor Strange isn't even like a physical scene. It's literally just the
Right.
superhero saying "my mom's" because she
Oh,
has
that-
two moms.
But
That's literally what it is. They're not kissing. They're not
Okay,
kissing.
but that
That's
has to
what
be
the
for
scene
sure.
is.
But the movie's not out yet, so we don't know if there's more than that.
No, they literally said that's what the scene is. It's her referencing her moms. It's
That's-
nothing about physical. It's her referencing she has two moms.
Alright.
That's all it is.
So instead of just changing that line, they said we're not releasing in Saudi Arabia.
I guess so.
They said no. And you know what, Disney? Y'all about to never mind. I don't want to talk about Ron DeSantis on this podcast.
Yeah, let's leave that.
Twitch.
One. Go on Twitch.
No,
Oh no!
Never
here
mind.
comes Twitch. Here comes Twitch.
I actually want to talk shit about. Never mind. I will
No,
not.
no,
talk.
no, you can do that. You can do that. Get us
I
ready
know.
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna
Twitch.
watch it.
You know what? No, I'm not. Yeah, so Twitch is considering changes to its partner program that currently discuss ideas that have not been finalized or incentives for more ads, new revenue splits from 70% to 50%, new tier systems, no more exclusivity, and these changes could supposedly be implemented this summer.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is not the Twitch news I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
Something bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad.
I mean,
They're
that
taking-
stuff is bad.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is bad. I thought this was like to help.
No, they're taking partner revenue.
Yeah.
They want to take it
Yeah.
from 70 to 50.
250. They're taking it down to
Oh.
50%. Yeah. Top talent could see reduction in share of subscription fees. A live streaming site wants to promote use of advertisements. Yeah, they're taking it. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Twitch staff is considering paring back the revenue cut of channel subscriptions granted to the top echelon of streamers in its so-called partnership program to 50%, down from 70%. Another option is to create multiple tiers and set criteria for how to qualify for each one. In exchange, Twitch may offer to release partners from exclusivity restrictions, allowing them to stream on Google's YouTube or Facebook. These changes, once again, are not finalized and they could be abandoned. But that is just some things that they were looking to do.
They're just getting sold or something. It's just like a bad move.
Make sure it's coming back.
No, it's not. That's none of those were good. You just get more ads and less money. Like essentially, that's what that was.
Ads on live streaming things are so. I think that's such a bad practice. It's so annoying.
It is. You could miss something important.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I've tried to tune into HPCritical and it's like, here's a 30-second ad, and I jump into the game. Brandon's in the middle of explaining something. I'm like, what is he explaining? What did I miss?
Damn.
I hate it so much.
If only there was a way to not see ads on HP.
Yes, I subscribed. I resubscribed.
I was
Relax.
just joking. All right, guys. I'm
Relax.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we're good with news. It's
Awesome.
about that time to wrap this bad boy up. I think there was something that I wanted to talk about, but it's too late now. I think it was like ads being in games. I think PlayStation and Xbox were talking about ads being in video games. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And the other thing that I was going to talk about was Netflix shares plummeting by 35%, and they lost $54.3 billion virtually overnight. And then they decided they were just going to crack down on people sharing passwords and also get rid of a bunch of their animation studios. So, you know, that's a solution to your problem.
Netflix is killing themselves.
Quickly. Like,
yes.
It's not even a slow burn. It's a very quick, what can we do to make people more upset?
Yeah, because all that news was like within 3 days.
It was.
Really.
It was pretty bad.
Raise foot.
We lost all this money, and so we're just gonna crack down on password sharers. Oh no, we lost more money, and we're gonna get rid of our animation. Oh no, we're still losing subscribers. What's next? Stop being trash. You know, all the tweets have just been like, maybe stop canceling good shows that we actually subscribe for, which is totally fair because, you know, a lot of people are just like, I just put Twitch in the background while I'm doing other stuff. I'm not even watching it. Which, like, I've had shows that I've been watching canceled, but also they put out stupid shit too.
Yeah.
Yes, looking at you, the fucking Ultimatum, dumbest fucking show I've ever watched.
I didn't know what that was. I thought you were talking about Born. I thought you were talking about Born for a second. I was like, wait a minute, no, he said the Ultimatum.
Born Ultimatum. But no, yeah, but that's like Disney Plus. That's like Disney Plus, like canceling their Obi-Wan series or their Moon Knight series. Like, why are you going to cancel the things people are, you know, subscribing to you for?
Oh boy,
yeah. I think they do that, and then they leave stuff like, I can't remember some of their earlier movies that no one cares about.
Do y'all? A quick question though before I end. Do you guys use Netflix?
Occasionally, I use it to watch. Honestly, it's become my anime. For the anime that's exclusive to Netflix, that's what I use it for.
I use my brothers.
Ooh, they're
watch.
Gonna
yeah, that's why I don't want to say that. But I don't, like the thing is, I use it to watch New Girl and The Witcher. Oh, and Seven Deadly Sins. Whenever I decide to put myself through the last 3 seasons of hell.
Those shows are
Castlevania
on Netflix. Then, like, they're not on Crunchyroll / Funimation.
No, I've checked. I have both. Yeah, Seven Deadly Sins isn't, but a lot of the anime they have is available on other anime platforms.
Yeah, no, he's right. Actually, there's a few that are, at least in the West, Netflix exclusive, but most that are on there are on Crunchyroll.
Seven Deadly Sins is, I think, it's Netflix. I'm gonna check just to be sure, because I have it right. Seven Deadly.
I did watch Castlevania
anime.
Good.
Oh yeah, Castlevania is another one that's only exclusive to Netflix.
It doesn't matter. They're getting rid of all their animation studios, so stop watching their animation because they're going to get rid of it. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter because they're going to cancel. You know what they're going to do? They're going to cancel your subscription next. They're going to be like, we don't want your money, and then cancel your subscription.
Hey Netflix, thanks for watching our Twitch stream or listening to our podcast. Subscribe to wherever you're listening to. Subscribe
to us, Netflix. Damn it, that's what you do.
I have a quick question though. When they said animation, did they mean anime or did they mean stuff like Big Mouth and Disenchanted?
I think is it both? Because I thought it was just like their original animation. I could be wrong. I
thought it was like the cartoon.
I mean, their original animation would include anime.
But that's not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Netflix usually does a good job of making a difference when they say anime and animation. So, but I mean, again, anime is animation. So it.
No, when they're firing people.
You're not wrong.
I think it just depends on the region because, for example, the Pokemon anime in America is now Netflix exclusive, but you go to somewhere like Canada or wherever, it's just on their regular television channels.
That's so funny because like it's never mind. It's like you make that distinction this whole time, but then when you're firing people, you don't tell them which studios. They're all like, "Oh no, it's
All right, guys, we're gonna be getting rid of some of the animation studios and stuff. Oh, we're safe. They said animation. Yeah, Seven Deadly Sins crew, you're fired. Excuse me.
So fucked up. Not Meliodas.
All right. Well, on that lovely positive note, I think it's about that time. Yeah, kind of tired.
Keep building my Lego set.
What are you building?
Castle. That can be
Just-
built 3 different ways.
Is it just a regular castle, or is it like from like a show?
No, yeah, it's just a regular castle. See, I have the box here.
It's not like the George
nice.
III castle or anything.
Nah, it's just a regular castle. I just wanted a regular castle.
I have a Winnie the Pooh Lego set because I want to be included.
I have Star Wars.
Oh, I had Legos. They're the worst.
Lego video games are nice, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, it's the same game 20 times.
Hey, Skyward Saga. I'm thinking about Legend of Zelda. The Skywalker Saga is not the same as the other Star Wars games. I will give them that. Surprisingly.
Okay,
Why are my
well,
lights on?
I'll get it when it's on sale or something.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
do want to play it.
I
No
don't
full
mean
price though.
to cut off this lovely conversation, but I'm gonna cut it off. Good night, guys.
You can't cut me off. This is my freedom of speech. You can't cut me off, man.
No, go to Twitter.
Good night, everybody.
And,
Good night.
Bye.
Go to
Thank you so
Twitter.
much for joining us, Rodrigo. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for having
Bye.
me. Bye.
Bye.